Hi, everyone. As we come towards the end of this year, 2025, and I'm going to do something I've never done before, and that would be a channel update. And I'll cover three things in this video. I'm going to cover how much I appreciate you, the viewers and commenters, and how you shape my channel. And I'm going to talk about number two, the YouTube journey. They call it the YouTube journey, and it certainly is. And I think you'll find it very interesting, some observations about how this transpired this year. And number three, we'll take a look at 2026 and what comes next. Let's get into it. Well, first of all, thank you. Thank you very much for helping make my channel successful this year. You know, we started back in January with absolutely zip, nothing. And now we have like 2.1 million views of the channel this year. Amazing for a 77-year-old retired guy to start a channel like that with no plan and end up the year with over 2 million views. So thank you very much. You know, the numbers are pretty impressive, but the main thing that was important to me was how the videos resonated with you. The comments, you know, they were thoughtful, they were personable, they were useful, they were even emotional. And I just enjoyed reading every one of them. I think we had like 20,000 comments, if you can believe that, 20,000 comments. I mean, some days I would do nothing but respond to comments. And I loved it. My wife said, you don't have to read all the comments, you don't have to respond to all the comments, just like them. And I enjoy making the comment, reply back to your comments. That was part of my joy of the channel. And this is what kept me going this year, is your comments. It's been humbling. It means a lot to me. And I just want to say thank you very much. So that's number one. Thank you very much for viewing and commenting on the videos. Let's move on to number two. Number two is my YouTube journey. They call it the journey. You know, it's kind of like life. You know, you start out and you go here and you go there and, you know, you don't know where you're going and you end up over here. And of course, retirement's like that too. You know, you have to explore retirement and you don't know exactly how it's going to work out, but it does. And you end up doing things you never thought you would do, trying things and experiencing things that you didn't really see coming. And that YouTube is kind of like the same thing, and I'll tell you about that. It started last December when I went on a cruise, and I just took my little 4-year-old camera along, Galaxy camera, 4 years old, and I took a few videos on the cruise ship just for my friends and a couple of family members. And that's all it was. That's all I had in mind. And then it kind of started in the week after Christmas a year ago. I went over to see my brother Frank for lunch in Athens, Georgia. Walking out of the restaurant, I said, Frank, tell me a joke. And I got my phone and I recorded him telling a joke. Actually, I didn't record him. I didn't tell him I was going to record this. So I just flipped it on me. So I held the phone up here and I was reacting to him telling me a joke. So that was the first time I was on camera. And that was Christmas week a year ago. So that's when it started. And I didn't say anything. I just, filmed me making faces. It was kind of fun. And he's a good joke teller. Well, as it turns out, he wanted to start a YouTube channel. He said, oh, that's how it works. Wow. And so I worked in January, February, and March behind the scenes, helping Frank, get started on his YouTube channel. And I started doing a few little mild videos. I would, like when you get started, you know how it is. You walk out in your backyard and walk around. I walked around my community and showed the swimming pool, and I think I came up with a name, Robert's Active Retirement. I'm retired, and I live in an active adult community, and I'm active. So that's how I came up with the name. But I thought I would just show activities and things like that. So Little did I know things would change. So I did that with Frank for 3 months, and that's how I kind of got started. But the very first hit that I had was February 9th. Everything changed at February 9th. I went to play bocce on the bocce league, and I was driving back home on Recreation Drive, and there's a softball field, and nobody was there. I just got my little 4-year-old camera out. I didn't have any microphones. I didn't have any gimbals or anything else, tripods, nothing like that. I didn't even know what those were. And I knew what a tripod was, but not a gimbal or a microphone. And I recorded my first hit, No Friends in Retirement, A Simple Fix. No Friends in Retirement, A Simple Fix. And that became my first hit. And I said, wow, people do watch these videos, And they started making comments. And those comments really changed everything for me. The comments came in. And most of them said, I agree with you. That's the way to do it. Activities is the way to do it. And some people said, I'm going to give this a try. So by and large, it was very, very positive. All the comments were very positive, but some had some other ideas. 2 other ideas that surprised me, to be honest. A lot of people said they didn't want any friends in retirement. They didn't want any friends. Here I am trying to tell them how to get friends. They said, nope, we don't want any friends in retirement. I didn't know that many people didn't want friends in retirement. But rather than argue with them, what I did was a week later, I did a follow-up video, and I laid out their case for them as they gave me. They gave me their response. The reasons we don't want friends are blah, blah, blah. And I put those in a video, and I said, why I don't want friends in retirement. And that was 1 week later. So that was interesting. And I got some interesting comments on that one. A lot of agreements, and said, yes, that's exactly the way we feel. So another comment on that same video about no friends in retirement said that I didn't quite understand the difference between friends and acquaintances. And they kind of schooled me on that. So guess what? I did a follow-up video, and it was called Friend or Acquaintance. I got schooled. And I did. I appreciate that. I didn't really appreciate, I'll say, the distinction between a friend and an acquaintance. So I'm learning. See the pattern there? I'm learning on your comments, and all of a sudden I've got a pattern. I've got 3 videos all about friends or no friends or friend or acquaintance. And I took note of that. I listened to the comments, and they molded my content. There's no doubt about it. Well, continuing on, I said, "Well, where'd I go here? I'm not going to be the expert on friends. I mean, that's not going to be my channel, I don't think." But I didn't know where I was going. But on March 9th, I had a moment, and I kind of realized the purpose of my channel, or what it really could be. And I did a video on a Saturday morning. I remember it. It was March 9th. It was still cold. And I went to the gym to work out early in the morning, like at 7:30 or 8. And leaving the gym, I picked up my camera in the parking lot, and I walked through this trail going up to the lake in our community. And I recorded a video. It took me 10 plus years in retirement to realize this. You need to hear it. And there was a trending topic at the time, you might remember, it said, it took me, after 20 years or 10 years, I learned this. I'll tell you in the next 10 minutes. And so what I did was I just took the title. I didn't watch the video. I just took the title. And I said, well, it took me 10 years in retirement. So I added in retirement to it to realize this. You need to hear it. And I just was natural. I ad-libbed and told my experience truthfully, the way I saw it. And that really resonated with people. That video now has 75,000 views, which is a lot for a new channel. It really is. And when I saw that that was the response. I said, wait a minute, this one's a hit. The No Friends is a hit. And I kind of realized this channel is not only about retirement activities, it's about retirement, the experience, the retirement wisdom, in real conversations about retirement. So that really helped me define my channel. So I want to, again, say thank you for that. The comments are so helpful, and that's kind of guided me along there. Well, continuing on the journey, the YouTube journey, I got monetized in mid-May. So we are monetized after these 2 or 3 hit videos. I was monetized. Well, I've always said I'm not doing this for the money. A lot of people are, and there's a lot of YouTube gurus out there that tell you need to get monetized, and their whole channel is about how to get monetized. Well, I didn't think that was important to me, but I'll tell you, when it happened, and you get that email saying you've been monetized, it's really kind of a milestone. I remember, I think it was a Friday, mid-March, and I got my camera and went out on my patio right out that door, and I was like a little schoolgirl out there. I was smiling and, happy and celebrating, and it was nothing like it. So I really enjoyed that, getting monetized. And then in June, that's when my viral video came along. You hear about the viral video. And that means different things to different people, but I don't care how you count, this one turned out to be a viral video. 10 harsh realities of being a 77-year-old man. And that was a very important video for me because I met my audience. People in the mid-50s and above, especially 65 and above, and 70s and 80s. 70s and 80s is my audience. There's no doubt about it. My people, my brothers and sisters. And since I had the age in there, 77, I think I've got 500 or 600 people who said they were 77. And they said, right on, brother, I'm experiencing the same thing you are. And I learned so much with that video. Do you know that video now has over 1 million? We just went over yesterday, over 1 million views in that one video. 16,000 new subscribers signed up off that one video. 16,000, one 20-minute video. So, I'm just astounded. Every day I check the comments in the morning, and I have many comments on that video. I think about 100 people per hour are still watching the video that I did back in June that has over 1 million different views. So, wow, that's all I can say. It just told me I wasn't alone. The video resonated with people. That's what they said over and over. And it was not only where I'm at in the U.S., it was around the world. A fellow in Japan was one of the first commenters. He said, I'm 77. I live in Japan, and I relate to everything you said here. And people, Australia, many people in Australia became subscribers. I really appreciate that. UK, Canada, as well as the U.S., of course. I like the way it's resonated with everybody, and it certainly resonated with me. Your comments come back to me and resonate with me because you've added a lot of content yourself in the comments. And these comments are heartfelt, thoughtful, useful, emotional. I'm very impressed with the comments. They're not like, attaboy, you did a good job on the video. It's like, yes, I do. It does resonate. Let me tell you my story. And wow, keep that up. Keep that up. I look forward to that. So what really worked on my channel at the end of the day? Well, honest talk about aging. People said, you're honest. You tell it like it is. Retirement wisdom. Well, I have been, retired like 20 years. So I've been down that road, and I share that. I'm not, I'm not going to say I'm not an expert. I guess I am an expert. When you lived it and studied it and done it for 20 years, you should know something about it. Humor, a little bit of humor. I did a couple of humorous videos, and they were big hits. Community life, family and friends. I think people like those types of videos, and I'm including family and friends. Personal stories. I'm not ever going to be the guy that does 3 or 4 videos a week, and 1 week I'm this, and 1 week I'm that, and it's good content, it's truthful content, there's some value in those contents, but I'm not a talking head. I'm a person, and I'm not going to ever get into saying things that I haven't experienced. So that's not me. Spending in financial market, I'm not going to turn into a financial channel, but I do have a lot of experience there. And I got good reception on my portfolio at 77, and how to spend your money in your 70s and 80s. And another one too, I believe. I can't recall the title of it, but I may do some more of those. Let me mention this too. Every time I do a video, and this is normal, they tell me, I get 2 or 3 people to unsubscribe. And I think they signed up a subscription because they liked a particular video. And I've jumped around and did all kind of videos, and I like doing that. So it's not a one-track, it's about retirement and aging, but it's not just about cruising or just about the financial markets or just about, anything, actually. It's just real life stuff that I encounter as I get older and in retirement. So bear with me a little bit. If you see a video, don't be so fast to unsubscribe. The next one you may love. And it works out. I get a couple to unsubscribe, and then for everyone that unsubscribes, I get 25 that do subscribe. So that's the way that works. I don't sugarcoat anything. It's reality. Okay, that's what really works on my channel. So what have I learned as a creator? A few big lessons. It says always, being authentic always beats being polished. Well, that's easy for me because I don't know how to be polished. I mean, I am what I am. Talk about things other than others are afraid to say. I think that is a difficult line to toe sometimes, but certainly the harsh videos, it started out with, you may have a limited time at 77, you better live in the present and things like that. And I lost a few people there right off the bat. Nobody wants to think about dying. But I went on to turn that into a positive. So if you watch the whole video, I think you can see I got into it with don't be that old man, don't let the old man in, and don't be the baby boomer know-it-all, and all those things that I know came from me, nobody else. And of course, aging with children, that could be a touchy subject, not having children, but I would say this, people have been extremely nice in the comments. Retirees love real conversation, and that's the key. I've learned the key. The key to doing this YouTube thing is start a conversation. A conversation is 2 ways. I can start it and hopefully find an interesting subject you'd like to comment on, but it's up to you to give me a comment. And I can't say that enough. Thanks so much for those thoughtful comments. Storytelling beats lecturing. I probably bordered on lecturing, but I try not to. I mean, I tell it like it is. The comments are a gold mine. And really, one viral video can really lift an entire channel. What happens is if you have a viral video, they not only look at that one video, they say, I like this. I like this content. I'm going to go back and see what other videos this guy's got. And so the other videos were going along like that, and all of a sudden, shoo, they go up too. So, that's a lesson for YouTube creators, I guess. One viral video can lift your entire channel. So, thanks for bearing with me so far. I'm going to wind it up here. What's next in 2026? That's coming up in a couple of weeks. Well, looking ahead, I like to do natural walk and talks. I started off that way, and I've done a few, and I there's a place for face-to-face like we're doing now, that's for sure. But I'm going to get out there and see if I can do some natural walk and talks. Editing videos takes a lot of time, and I found that if you get out there and do a natural walk and talk, walking is naturally spurs talking, and I like to do that, so I'm going to put that on the calendar to do more walk and talks. I want to do topics that start conversations. I mean, that's what it's about. Keep them going in the comments, and that's what it's all about. And here's where I love your help again. I'd like your help to give me some topics to cover. I mean, I've got people say, how do you come up with all these topics? Well, I've been doing this for a number of years, walking talks on the walking group, and that helped. But I'd like to get your feedback as you have in the comments. I mean, you could put it right in the comments and let me know some topics to cover, and I would greatly appreciate that. What do you enjoy about my videos? Let me know in the comments. What do you like about my videos? People who told me before, and everybody likes to hear the positive things, right? That keeps me going. But also, any suggestions you may have, how I can make them better. And anything get better, that's for sure. And I'm still on the journey. I mean, we just started. So, help me shape the channel tomorrow. You help me shape it this year. Help me shape this channel next year. I'd love to hear from you, and we'll continue doing that. Okay, well, everybody have a great holiday season, no matter where you all are around the world. I hope you take some quiet time and some reflection time and maybe some family time, and even when you're retired, you need to do that. And thank you so much for making this channel a success, and I'll see you again soon.